Vashara sat alone inside the silent space station, feeling the slow breathing of the old metal around her. The walls were cold, the lights were weak, and the sound of her own heartbeat felt loud in the empty rooms. She had been here many days, maybe many cycles. Time was hard to measure when no one spoke to her and no one came to see her. She had tried counting the days at first, marking them on the wall with a small tool. But after a while, she lost track. Some days she woke early, other days she slept long. Life here did not follow any rhythm. It was only survival. She placed a hand on her stomach and whispered to the child growing inside her. Her voice was soft, like she was afraid the empty station might break the sound. She told the child that she was trying her best, that she would not give up, that the loneliness would not win. The child inside her did not move often, but sometimes she felt a small flutter, a little reminder that she was not truly alone, even if her people had sent her here. They believed that her age made the pregnancy unsafe or unnecessary. They believed a child should only come from a young mother, not someone older like her. They told her she was breaking tradition, and tradition was more important than her feelings. The council had spoken to her with calm voices, but their decision had been firm. They sent her to this forgotten station with limited supplies and no promise of return. She had not argued. She had only bowed her head and accepted it because she did not want to bring conflict to her clan. But deep inside, she had felt hurt. She had lived a long and loyal life. She had served her clan with patience. She had followed every rule. And yet the moment she needed kindness, they turned away. She knew she could not change the past, so she tried to stay strong. Every morning she walked along the long, empty hallways to check if the heating units were still working. She repaired lights, cleaned dust from vents, and tried to keep the small storage room organized. She ate only simple food, trying to make the supplies last longer. Sometimes she boiled water just to watch the steam rise because it made her feel less empty. She talked to her child in simple words, hoping the sound of her voice might comfort them both. One day, while she was trying to fix a broken panel near the main corridor, she felt a sharp pain in her back. She pressed her hand against the wall to steady herself. She knew her body was tired. She had not eaten enough for days. Her strength was fading slowly, and she feared that if something happened to her, no one would come. She did not cry, but her eyes felt warm as she leaned her forehead against the cool metal. "Please stay strong," she whispered to herself. Hours passed, and Vashara rested on a small seat near the observation window. The window showed only darkness with tiny, shining stars. She liked to watch them because they made her feel like the universe was still alive, even if her station was silent. Sometimes she imagined she was still on her homeworld, still surrounded by warm light and familiar smells. She imagined walking through the gardens where gentle winds moved the tall leaves. She imagined speaking with her clan elders. She imagined the sound of young ones laughing. But imagining only made the silence feel heavier. She was drifting into light sleep when she heard a distant beeping sound. It was faint, but it was real. She opened her eyes quickly. For a moment she thought she had imagined it, but then it came again. It was the sound of an incoming ship. Her heart started to beat faster. She stood slowly, holding her back for support, and moved toward the station's control room. Her hands shook as she touched the old screen. The system flickered to life, showing the small shape of a vessel approaching. Her breath caught in her throat. She had not seen another living being since she arrived. She did not know if this was friend or danger. Her people had abandoned the station long ago, so she did not expect one of her own. The ship was small, almost like a human maintenance craft. She had heard of humans. They were known for traveling far and fixing old structures. They were known for being strong and loud, but some stories said they were also brave and kind. The ship connected to the station's docking ring with a small shake. Vashara stood near the corner, unsure what to do. She wanted to hide, but there was nowhere safe to hide. She wanted to appear strong, but her legs were shaking. She placed a hand over her stomach and waited. The door hissed open. Light from the ship spilled into the dim corridor. A human stepped inside, wearing a simple engineering suit. He looked around, scanning the area with careful eyes. His hair was dark, and his expression showed surprise when he saw Vashara standing there. He lifted his hand slightly to show he meant no harm. "Hello," he said in a calm voice. "I didn't know anyone was living here." "I'm Evan Hale, Earth Alliance maintenance pilot. I'm here to inspect abandoned stations." Vashara swallowed and tried to speak. Her voice was rough from days of silence. "This station is not empty," she managed to say. "I am here." Evan nodded gently. He did not move closer without permission. "Are you hurt? Do you need help?" Vashara hesitated. She wanted to say she was fine, but her tired body betrayed her with a small tremble. Evan noticed. He stepped forward slowly, making sure not to startle her. "I have food and medical supplies," he said softly. "You look like you haven't had enough." She looked at him with cautious eyes. "Why would you help me?" she asked. "Because you're alone," he said simply. "And no one should be alone in a place like this." His words struck something deep inside her. She had been alone for so long that she almost forgot what kindness sounded like. She lowered her gaze, unsure how to respond. Evan continued to keep his distance, respecting her space. "If you allow it," he said, "I can help repair the broken systems. I can bring you fresh supplies from my ship. I don't want to leave you in this condition." Vashara took a slow breath. She studied his posture. He was calm, not trying to dominate the situation. He did not carry any weapon. His eyes were gentle, filled with concern rather than fear or judgment. She felt a small wave of relief. "I accept your help," she said finally. Evan nodded with a soft smile. He placed a small box on the floor and opened it. Inside were packaged meals and water containers. He pushed the box toward her slowly. Vashara reached out with shaking hands and picked up a small container. She ate slowly, savoring every bite. It felt warm and comforting, something she had not felt in a long time. As she ate, Evan checked the station systems. He opened the old control panels, tested wires, and replaced damaged connectors. He moved with ease, showing skill and experience. He worked without complaint, and every time he passed near her, he spoke softly so she would not feel startled. After some time, he turned to her. "This station needs many repairs. It's old and was not meant for long living. How long have you been here?" Vashara looked down. "Many days. Maybe many cycles. My people sent me here." "Why?" he asked, confused. She placed a hand on her stomach again. "Because I carry a child at an age they do not approve." Evan's eyes softened with sympathy. "That seems very unfair." "It is their rule," she said quietly. "I could not change it." "You didn't deserve this," he said firmly. "No one should be left like this." Vashara felt a strange warmth in her chest. No one had defended her actions since her exile. Hearing a stranger speak so kindly made her eyes shine with unspoken emotion. She held her breath to keep tears from forming. Evan continued working, and soon the lights brightened across the corridor. The heat systems began to work more steadily. The atmosphere filters sounded cleaner. The entire station felt less tired. Vashara watched him, feeling lighter than she had in many days. When he finally sat down to rest, he looked at her with gentle eyes. "I can stay a little longer. I want to make sure you and your child are safe." Vashara hesitated. She did not want to depend on someone she had just met, but her strength was fading. She knew she needed help if she wanted her child to survive. She nodded slowly. "Thank you," she whispered. Evan smiled softly. "It's all right. You're not alone anymore." Those words made her heart tremble. She had been alone for so long that she had almost forgotten what hope felt like. Now, sitting in the repaired light with warm food in her hands and a calm human nearby, she felt a gentle spark returning to her life. She looked at Evan again, and something inside her finally relaxed. For the first time since her exile, she felt safe. Evan stayed on the station longer than he planned. What was supposed to be a simple inspection mission had become something else entirely. He could not leave Vashara in such a fragile state. Every time he looked at her tired face or saw her holding her stomach with protective care, he felt a deep sense of responsibility. She had been abandoned by her own people, left to survive in a dying station with failing systems. He would not be another person who turned away from her. Vashara slowly grew comfortable with Evan's presence, though she still moved with caution. She was gentle in every movement, like someone afraid of breaking the silence she had lived with for so long. When Evan spoke, she listened carefully. When Evan walked past her, she watched him with a mix of curiosity and gratitude. She was still weak, but the food and warmth he brought were helping her regain strength. During the early hours of the cycle, Evan checked the life support system again. Vashara sat near the window, watching the silent stars. She liked the way he worked. He always explained what he was doing, even if she did not always understand the technical words. He told her that humans believed everyone deserved safety, no matter their age or condition. She nodded every time, feeling something inside her soften a little more. After a while, Evan came to her side. "The station's systems are stable now," he said, "but I still don't think this place is safe for long." Vashara kept her calm voice. "It is all I have." "It doesn't have to be," he replied. "Earth Alliance medical ships can help you. They don't judge people for things like age." Vashara looked down at her hands. Her skin was pale, and she could see the lines of age that her people believed were signs of weakness. She had accepted her exile because she thought no one would ever support her. Now she wondered if she had accepted it too quickly. "I do not know if your people will welcome me," she whispered. "I'll make sure they do," Evan said with a gentle firmness. "No one will turn you away." She felt warmth in her heart. It was strange to feel it again after so much darkness. Evan helped her stand, guiding her slowly down the corridor. Her steps were weak but steady. He always kept one hand close, ready to support her if she needed. She enjoyed the comfort of knowing she could lean on someone. For a long time, she had relied only on her own strength. Now, her body and her spirit both felt lighter. They walked to the main chamber, where Evan had repaired a heating unit the previous cycle. The air was warm, and Vashara sat down gratefully. Evan gave her water and checked her temperature. "You're improving," he said, "but we need to think about the future." Her eyes moved toward him with gentle curiosity. "You speak like someone who has many plans." He laughed softly. "Maybe, but right now my only plan is to make sure you're safe." Vashara felt something soft in her chest, something close to affection. Evan was young compared to her, but he showed a kindness that felt deep and honest. She watched him open a small toolbox and start repairing another broken connector on the wall. His hands moved quickly, but not carelessly. He worked with purpose. After some time, Evan stopped working. He looked at Vashara with concern. "Are you feeling any discomfort?" She nodded slowly. "A little. My body grows tired more quickly than before." Evan sat across from her, careful not to cause her stress. "You don't have to pretend you're strong all the time," he said. "I'm here." Vashara looked at him for a long moment. "I have spent many cycles being strong alone. It is difficult to accept help even when I need it." Evan smiled softly. "Then let me stay until you feel safe." She lowered her gaze, touched by the sincerity in his voice. You already make me feel safer than anyone has in a long time." They shared a quiet moment. The station hummed around them, the repaired systems making soft and gentle sounds. It felt more alive now, less like a tomb. But peace did not last long. The station suddenly shook. A harsh, sharp sound echoed through the corridors. Vashara gasped and held her stomach. Evan immediately stood and moved to the nearest panel. "Meteor particles," he said, frowning. "A small storm must have passed through this sector." The lights flickered for a moment, then steadied. Evan checked multiple screens. "One of the outer panels took a hit. I have to fix it before it damages the hull." Vashara's voice trembled. "It is dangerous outside." "I know," he said, "but I'll be fast." She reached out and touched his arm gently. Her hand was shaking. "Please be careful." He gave her a reassuring smile. "I'll be back soon." Evan put on his protective suit and left through the airlock. Vashara watched him through the small viewing screen. The storm of tiny meteoroids sparkled faintly against the darkness, like glowing dust drifting past. Evan moved quickly, attaching himself with a safety line and repairing the damaged panel with steady hands. She could see how focused he was, even while danger moved around him. Inside the station, Vashara felt her chest tighten with fear. She could not lose him. Not now. Not after he brought hope back into her life. She whispered to herself to stay calm. She placed her hands over her stomach again, trying to keep her breathing slow and steady. The child inside her moved faintly, as if sensing her tension. Minutes passed, but they felt like hours. Finally, Evan began walking back to the airlock. Vashara exhaled in relief when she saw the outer door close behind him. When he entered the station again, she stood slowly and moved toward him. "Are you hurt?" she asked, her voice almost breaking. He removed his helmet, revealing a tired but warm smile. "I'm okay." She felt her knees weaken with relief. Evan stepped forward and gently supported her as she sat down again. "It's all right," he said softly. "Everything is fine." Vashara's eyes were wet, but she did not let tears fall. She simply looked at him with deep emotion. "You risked your life to protect this place." "I wasn't protecting the station," Evan said quietly. "I was protecting you." Her heart warmed again, deeper this time. She did not know how one human could bring so much comfort and strength into her life so quickly. It felt like she had known him longer than a few cycles. Evan sat with her for a long time. When she trembled, he stayed close but never touched without permission. When she needed rest, he watched over her. When she closed her eyes, the last sound she heard was the gentle hum of the repaired heating unit and his calm breathing near her. Later, when she woke, she found Evan sitting near the doorway, checking a small screen. He looked up when he heard her move. "You're awake." "Good." Vashara stretched her fingers and moved slowly. Her body was weak again. "I am sorry. I need more rest than before." "You don't need to apologize," he said gently. "You're carrying a life. You deserve care." She smiled faintly. "You speak with more wisdom than many elders." He laughed softly, embarrassed. "I just speak honestly." The cycle passed quietly after that. Evan repaired more systems and made sure Vashara ate enough to keep her strength. They talked about their worlds. Vashara told him about her home, where the skies shone with silver light and forests grew tall like mountains. Evan described Earth, the blue oceans, the forests of green, the snow-covered lands, and the stories humans told about courage. She listened with wonder. She had never met a human before, but she liked hearing about his world. It sounded full of warmth and color. As time passed, Evan knew the station would not hold forever. The systems were too old, the structure was too fragile, and Vashara needed medical care he could not provide alone. He made his decision. During a quiet moment, he sat beside her and spoke gently. "Vashara, We should leave this station. She looked surprised. Leave? Yes, he said. Come with me to my ship. I can take you to a medical vessel. They will help you. They will protect you. Vashara felt fear rise in her chest. I do not know if I can travel. I am weak. I'll help you, he said quickly. I won't let anything happen to you. She hesitated. Her hands trembled in her lap. Leaving the station felt frightening. It had been her prison, but also her shelter. But when she looked at Evan, calm, steady, full of promise, she felt a courage she had not felt in years. I trust you, she whispered. Evan's expression softened with relief. Then let's go. He helped her stand, moving slowly, supporting her with gentle hands. They walked down the corridor, both silent but deeply connected. The station lights flickered softly, as if giving a small farewell. Vashara turned once to look at the place where she had suffered and survived. She felt no anger, only a quiet sadness and a stronger hope. Evan guided her into his ship, helping her sit comfortably and securing the seat with gentle care. He checked the systems, started the engines, and looked back at her with a reassuring smile. We're ready? Vashara breathed deeply, holding her stomach softly. I am ready. The ship detached from the station, moving slowly into open space. The stars outside seemed brighter now, as if welcoming her into a new chapter of life. Evan stayed close to her the whole time, monitoring her health and speaking gently whenever fear filled her eyes. His presence was steady, warm, and full of kindness. Vashara looked at him, feeling her heart slowly open again. She had been exiled, forgotten, and abandoned. But the universe had not left her alone. It had brought her a human, a stranger, who chose to stand by her side when others had turned away. She felt safe. She felt grateful. And for the first time in many cycles, she felt a future waiting for her. A future where she was not alone. A future where her child would be born into warmth and care. A future where kindness existed, carried by the hands of a single human who refused to let her fade away.